on there that are here, that was fire today. If you guys don't have Smarty System, you're missing out on a great opportunity to grow your business and automate your business. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing what he is doing with AI and websites and marketing and all of that stuff. So I'm fired up.
And I can tell you this, my hair is sticking straight up right now because I was, you ever seen that emoji where your head explodes? Well, that's what was happening to me. I just got started with Smarty System, and Kathy's going to go into a little bit more details. She's going to drop a link in the chat if you want to take your business to an absolute another level. Because I can tell you this, every single day, us agents are getting bombarded with try this, AI. Oh my God. Smarty has figured it out. And I just got started with it, so I'm not the authority. Kathy is ahead of me for sure in terms of taking advantage of the tools. She's going to go into that. Kathy's also going to put in the chat her promo link, her affiliate link. So if you guys want to check it out, it will change your life. And if anyone on this call is using Smarty's program, I would love to hear from you as well. But welcome to our Fridays More Deals Mastermind. Our number one goal is to create more opportunities in any market, regardless of what the market's doing. We want to be able to dominate, whether it's FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosure, working with the online offers platform, working with cash offers. Kathy is our cash offers coach. I'm the online offers coach. We've got a lot of folks doing the online offers on this call, but we meet every single Friday. There's really no agenda to speak of. Kathy, thanks for putting that in the chat. Check that chat out. Go to that link, check it out. I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind, just like it did mine. Every week, our goal is to just meet here, collaborate. Who's working with cash offers? Who's working with the online offers? Who's working with FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosures, like I mentioned? Who's working with the lowest hanging fruit and what's working, but more importantly, what's not working, so we don't repeat those mistakes. Let us know where the potholes are. Lawrence King had a property, and he's going to talk about that here in a minute, where a lot of time lapsed from the time they scheduled, secured the listing till the time it went live. Market changed. Expectations should have been addressed prior to launch. That's how we learn. And I'm not trying to call Lawrence out, but it's happened to me before as well. I have 3 listings that I just took that are tenant occupied, and one's 30 days out, one's 45 days out. And I wanted to secure the listing, secure the relationship. But because we're so used to taking the listing the day or so after meeting with that seller, that the market doesn't have a chance to change because there's no time has elapsed. In the case where we're taking listings, 30, 40, 60 days in advance, tenant occupied as an example, things change. So he saved me a lot of money, a lot of headaches. So Lawrence, we're going to share that story as well. But let's get to you, Kathy. Let's talk about your experience and what you picked up from Smarty's call today, and people can take advantage of that link in the chat. Go ahead, Kathy.
Well, I'm not techie. And Julian, were you on the call? Yeah, he was on the call. He's more techie than I am. So he could probably fill in the blanks. But basically, Pro Edge is through Go High Level, and Go High Level is doing some amazing things with AI. And one of them that we went over today was adding an operating system to our website to get known on Google, be the top and in Google, and also ChatGPT. Because now somebody, our clients, our sellers and buyers are searching ChatGPT for real estate agents. So what he went into was an operating system to help us pop up as one of the top agents in an area that they're searching. And it's just amazing, these features and everything that go into the website that will get us there. I want to get too technical because I don't know, but anyway, that's what I'm fired up about.
And I encourage you guys. One thing I just got out of that is I bet if we all go to, whether it be chat or Google, or just type in your name, Robert Whitekilt Realtor, boom, hit send. Where do you, or just not even your name, just type in #1 agent San Diego or top agent San Diego. Type in what sellers are actually typing in. Where do you rank? I did I forget the name of the site, but I went to a site that says I rank 201 in San Diego in terms of my ranking on the platform. Yeah. So I have some work to do, no doubt. but I encourage you to do that in your market. So type
Yeah,
in what sellers are
absolutely.
typing in and see where you rank. So I think that's a big deal.
Julian, do you have anything to add to that?
201 is pretty good. I mean, there's a ton of agents in San Diego, so I mean that's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, as far as the CRM and Smarties and everything that's there, if you don't have it, the one thing that for me, like Kathy was talking about, like what they're doing with the websites and SEO and AI and trying to rank on all those things is amazing. But also like social media, like it just brings your entire business into one place where
Mhm.
prior to being in that CRM with Go High Level, you have, Calendly, you have your website provider, you have your CRM separate, you have all these different things, Zapier for connecting them all together, and like just all these different things. It just brings everything to one, and now with AI coming into the system itself, it's making everything faster, easier, and it's taking it to another level.
Yeah, instead of spending hundreds of dollars on different programs,
Mhm.
it's all in one.
I
And
can't tell you. I can't
it
tell you how
saves you
many.
money.
I can't tell you how many apps I have. I have Calendly. I have this. I have that. Eventbrite. I have all the different platforms to run my business. And I can tell you, when I was first introduced to Smarty's program, that was the biggest thing. Number one is being automated, but consolidating those expenses, because if you really add it up, 50 here, 100 there, 50 there, oh my goodness, it adds up quick. So yeah, thank you, Julian, for that. Who else is using Pro Edge? Anyone on the call using Pro Edge? Just getting started, experience with it? Who's using it? Who's been introduced to it? John, I know aren't you using it, John?
No.
You're not. You're just using the iList Seller Assist.
Mhm.
Who on the call is using iList Seller Assist and as it works? Why don't Ron? Give us a little bit. Let's go to Lawrence real quick. Lawrence, I know you're using it and you're doing some really good things with it. Why don't we give us some of your experiences with using that, and then expand upon the 14-day process, as well as maybe tell your story about that last listing. I appreciate it.
So actually, just reminded me that I got to follow up my uncle in Michigan. Uh, I've been using Seller Assist for 3 years now. I think it's around 3 years. But the 14-day home offers platform is totally different than that. So the cash offer portion of it, I've been using that as just basically as a talking piece to be able to talk to more sellers out there in the market. Sellers is going to be buyers in the market. It's been allowed me to talk to way more than I have before, right? So I've given that option to, and matter of fact, my listing in Lakewood that's about to close, I use the 14-day home offers platform for, that neighbor, literally, I went to go pick up the sign yesterday to go drop the sign off to another property that we're taking a 14-day live home offers on. She was asking like, how do you do it in 14 days?
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm barely at home, so I didn't see the traffic on the open houses you had. You only had two open houses, Saturday and Sunday. So I wasn't home. I missed it. So I had that conversation. This is all a conversation piece for the cash offer portion and the 14-day home offer portion. So it's been great working for me.
And what you do is you take those cash offers. The first thing you want to do is run the cash offers platform, have the conversation, because so many agents just call up and say, I have an offer, when maybe they really don't. Now everybody has access to the cash offers. But one thing to keep in mind, the cash offers are just a tool for leverage, because if you really nail it down, every single seller you're going to talk to, for the most part, not everyone, but very, very high percentage, all want the highest and best price. They just think they want a cash offer until they see that cash offer. And Kathy will certainly can expand on that. But using the cash offers to pivot to the transaction, the 14-day process. And a lot of people think, well, 14 days, how can you do it in 14 days? That's just the time you get launched until the time you go under contract. And then with an addendum in your listing agreement, then you can extend it once it's under contract to match the escrow period. For example, if it's 30 days, you go out 35, have a little pad there, so you're not always extending it. But the marketing part of it is the start, the launch, to the time you actually meet in contract. That's 14 days. So a lot of people go, oh, I could never do that. That's crazy. Just so we're clear on that. Lawrence, thank you for that. Anything else to add?
Yeah, just really quick. I want to add this too. The cash offers portion. If you send your links for the cash offers to, like, let's say for a FISBO or expired, right? I sent a link to a FISBO back in April. They just hit me up last week on that, see if those offers are still valid. They're not. Market changes, right?
Yep.
But you see what it did? It made them follow up with me. Even though I didn't even reach out to them again. I gave them that link. They looked at the offers, said, no, I'm not taking it in April. Now they had a choice to either ignore me and never follow up with me again, or follow up with me almost, was August almost?
Right.
Wow.
Now that's another conversation piece. So
And that brings me back to Pro Edge. There is a campaign in there, letter of intent, where you send out those cash offers to your expireds, your for sale by owners, to make the phone ring, and the phone does ring. And we don't think that our prospects keep our emails. They do, because they may not be ready at this time, but again, 4 months later, they're ready. And so they give you a call, they save those links. So you really need to keep following up with them. Fortune is a follow-up. Have you contacted, let me ask you, Lawrence, did you have a system to keep them in the system to keep following up with them? After
no,
you said, no, you didn't.
I could have dropped them on a drip campaign. I could have put them on that, but I didn't, because that was a one-off situation that I didn't think I was going to, I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. Right. So for me, now I'm looking at this, I have to look at Pro Edge. I have to look at what's the follow-up. How is Pro Edge doing it? What am I missing the boat on, Kathy? Tell me that, so I can better understand it. Because look, we can get $50 to death, $200 to death, $99 to death in this business. What am I missing on Pro Edge right now?
Well, Pro Edge is all in one. So basically, now, one, your campaigns are written out for you. All you need to do is go in and put your personal information. They're linked to iList. Everything's linked back and forth because we work closely with iList and Falcon and Seller Assist now. And now there is also a campaign in there after Smarty met with Robert that did the 14-day home offers. So there's a campaign for that as well, and a whole system for that as well. There's a system now, and that was part of the operating system, is writing blogs for your website for the different communities and the different features that you want and topics that you want in your business, that now you can plug in and send out to your prospects. So it's intertwined in a lot of different ways. The follow-up is amazing. You plug somebody into the system, say you have My Plus Leads. You automatically get them put in there. They feed it into the system every day, and Go High Level or Pro Edge will start the campaigns and send everything out automatically. Your AI bots that are being built in Pro Edge, there is a conversational one, there's a voice one. They will actually speak to the prospective client to get them to make an appointment with you or a phone call. Then they will actually call you. You have a lead on the phone to talk to them. This is all automated. You don't have to do anything but plug and play and start talking to people. That is the power of Pro Edge.
Working when you're not. I love it. Well, thank you for that. I wrote a question down based on what Lawrence said. People go from want to sell to need to sell pretty quick, especially the for sale by owners. A lot of times they'll put it on the market, check it out, see what happens. They usually price it based on an agent or two that they talk to that are agreeing with the seller on their overpriced. They want to try it on their own, and then they go from want to, and now they need to, because it's been on the market for so long, they're not getting any action. So that's why it's so important to drip on the FISBOs and expireds. initially they may not even want to talk to you unless you have an offer period. And I get that. That's a blow off, but the number one goal is when you're prospecting is to schedule the appointment, get in front of them, find out what their needs are, and then introduce what it is you can do to make their home sell for the highest and best price in the shortest amount of time. But you need to drip on them. I can tell you this, anytime I meet with a seller and they're just not quite there yet, I have found in going back, following up, no answer, getting ghosted, whatever. And you can see how long it's been. And then a lot of times they either sell, or they list with another agent. So dripping on them is absolutely important. And we can lose a lot of business because people may not want to take action right this second. But if you can drip on them, stay in touch with them, give them great content and reasons to follow back up with you, like the cash offers, it's a great tool. I know that I look forward to getting Smarty's system fully dialed in, because I'm just getting started with it. I tell you what, it's an amazing. I can't wait to get it set up. So Kathy, what else on that?
Well, let's ask Julian. Julian, how else are you using ProEdge in your business? Because you've been with Smarty a long time as well.
Yeah, I fluctuate depending on what they're doing. This 14-day, that's why I told you in the meeting that I've been missing this call ever since Robert came and talked to us. Because one of the things he said was he traveled the US and didn't go to a single house and for like 2 years. And I do a little bit of wholesaling and real estate, with the dreams of being able to travel and do the business at the same time. So that's why I'm here. But it's amazing. Lawrence, what do you use right now for your follow-up, or what's your system right now?
So right now, what I'm using Bold Trail. Used to be KV Core. Bold Trail is what I'm using for follow-up. The drip campaign in there. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably not the best follow-up, and that's probably why I'm getting ghosted or people unsubscribing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this ProEdge thing, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about and giving praises to. So that's why I really got to pay attention to it a little bit more, because right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I got another listing right now, 14-day home listing, 14-day home offer listing coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. The following week, I got a luxury 14-day. Well, I'm taking it 30 days on this one, so I'm gonna do a 30-day 14-day home offer listing in Anaheim Hills for 2.75 million, right? So I got a spectrum of a $900,000 one this weekend. The weekend prior to that, I had a $845,000 property that's in escrow, and we're about to close at 980. Is this recorded?
It is.
That's private. Anyways, it's at 980. I got it at,
I'll block it out.
I put it at 845, got it at 980 right now, right? 12 offers on the property. That's the one that Robert's speaking about, because in the 14 days, it did not get to where we needed to be as far as price point for the seller.
Yeah.
It did do its job of getting multiple offers.
And market value, by the way.
In market value. So the seller unfortunately had so much that was owed on the mortgage, because they just bought it like a year and a half ago. Then they had to sell it because I helped them buy a property in Las Vegas. I'm licensed in both states, in Nevada and California. So I had to sell this property and get them up to where they needed to be. And the way I did that was at the end of that 14-day listing, I took the 4 top highest offers, went back to them and said, "Hey, thank you for your offer. Seller is grateful for your offer, but however, you understand the seller has the right to negotiate, reject, or accept any and all offers. So the highest offer is not always going to be accepted because the terms may not be right, right? The second offer, third offer may have better terms. They may say, hey, we're voiding out appraisal, which the fourth one avoided out appraisal. That's the one that locked in. That's the one we're locked in with, because they took out the appraisal. However, Robert, I didn't tell you about this. On Monday, the appraisal came back at value. So that was shocking to me, because I was like, there's no way it's coming in value. So that there, I'm gonna try this on a $2.7 million listing, see how that works.
Just know
I
that buyer pool is awfully small, much smaller than so
I
it's
took
it's important to set the expectations of the seller and yourself, of course.
and I did that up front.
Yeah.
Thank you to you, Robert, because otherwise I would never even thought about this.
Wow.
So
Let that buyer pool fill up. That's the magic. You know,
And-
we were just talking about how I was traveling the country for 2 years doing listings. I haven't stepped foot in a seller's home, at least before listing consummation, since March of 2020. I've taken it I want to take advantage of being efficient and effective. I was going to FISBOs, driving all over the place, you know, getting there, and they're absolutely out of their mind. So I said, I got to come up with a better way. Then we were forced to do everything via Zoom, and I just kind of I just fell in love with doing Zoom meetings with sellers.
You started doing that during COVID, right?
Yeah, March 2020 is when I started doing all my listings via Zoom, and I just never looked back. I always like to use this example. If the seller, the guy across the street, wants to sell his home, we're doing it on Zoom initially, even if it's right across the street. It just because it's more efficient, more effective. There's two different types of listing presentations. Number one, who are you calling? FISBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosures. Number two, prospecting is to schedule the appointment, not to do the appointment. I know a lot of people get all excited and go, oh, I've got somebody that really wants to know what I'm all about. Let's just dive right into it. That takes some preparation, just like you wouldn't answer your phone. Oh, you want to sell? Great, I'll be right there. We don't do that either. So we need to prepare. We need to get ready for that Zoom presentation. And what Lawrence said about, getting those offers, you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday by 7. Then everybody that has interest in that property, whether they placed an offer on the online offers platform or not, even if they went to my open house, I still send out a last call for offers, because the offers platform only allows you to put a number and your supporting documentation. So Wednesday at 7 o'clock it ends. Then an email goes out to every single interested party. The seller has requested me to reach out to every interested party to submit their highest, best, and final purchase contract, updated supporting documentation, proof of funds, pre-approval. And I need that Thursday by 7 p.m. I give them 24 hours to get that. And then Friday morning, we do an offer presentation. And like Lawrence was talking about, not every highest offer is the best. The way the platform's set up is it's based on the net. So the net matters, sure, but terms and conditions in terms of what do you want to take 3 years to close that? We need to make sure that the terms and conditions are in line too. So it is the net that matters to most sellers.
Mhm.
I'm not met many, but it's the net. And so that's kind of the process. You launch it, no showings for the week, Saturday, Sunday showings only. Now, depending on your buyer pool, you may want to shrink down. For example, I do 12 to 4 on Saturday, 12 to 3 on Sunday. But if I'm tracking, let's use Zillow for an example, how many views and saves, if I'm getting an incredible number of views and saves are indicative of what kind of open house traffic. It may not be the 884 that Kathy received, but if you get 200 to 300, maybe 400 groups through the doors, I'm going to think that's probably the highest level of open house traffic you've ever seen in your entire life. You may, if it's less views, less saves, you're not getting a lot of calls, not a lot of interest. Obviously, it's your price, because our pricing strategy is below what actual market value is, not what the seller thinks it's worth, but actual market value that you can agree to with that seller. You take an overpriced listing, let's use an example of $1 million, it's worth $850. You're way overpriced, and you're not going to get a lot of traffic. So you have to come to terms with the actual price, then price it properly. You take those weeks, the days leading up to the by appointment only open house, then you can, if your views are lower, you can move the open house window to maybe 12 to 2, shrink that level of available showings, because you still want people bumping into them, comfortably bumping into each other in the kitchen. I'm not saying it's chaos and people can't think, but if there's, let's say, 5 actual rooms, like a living room, dining room, bedroom, 5 rooms in the home, say, you let 5 groups go in. So there are enough people in there, but not too many. So there's a strategy behind it. You may want to shrink that showing window, and you may want to remove Sunday. I mean, you're going to have to feel out how many views. So that whole week where no showings are being done, and sellers love that, by the way. They don't like random showings unless it's, especially if it's a tenant. If it's tenant occupied and do random showings, forget it. So it's perfect for landlords. But you may want to shrink that time down so you get the maximum exposure. Everybody gets to see everybody, and that's where the real magic happens. So,
Robert, let me ask
Robert?
you. Let me make sure I chime in on this really
yeah,
quick, because
Yeah, me too, when you get a chance.
John, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Ladies first, right? Okay.
I love it. Hey, don't get political.
Yeah, no. So anyway, so you're saying, when you put the house on the market on Monday or whenever, then you're stating the open house times. So you're saying change it on the fly depending on the traffic and
The showing window changes on the fly, because if you have a tremendous amount of traffic, you want to open it up 12 to 4 Saturday, 12 to 3 Sunday. But if you're seeing views like, God, we're just not getting the traction. Maybe the buyer pool, maybe it's that $2.7 million listing Lawrence was talking about. That buyer pool is much smaller. Sure. So you may want to rethink that. So
you're changing the open house times then?
Yes. What I do is I always
on the fly, basically.
on the fly, and I'll look at it. I'll change the times.
Right.
I update the times. And typically what I do with my showing calendar is I'll open it up from 12 to 4 when I first originally set it up. Then I'll shrink it down to 12 to 2 because I want the top appointments to cover first. Because remember, the only ones that are really scheduling appointments mostly are the agents, because you're putting it in showing instructions in the MLS. So those are the agent showings. You're going to get a boatload of buyers without agents. Oh, it's amazing how lazy agents are. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a buyer come in and, or here with your agent. Oh no, they just sent me here on the open house. Or they may even call me, I'm out of town, can I send my buyer? Sure, my buyer agent will be more than happy to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I know you've done the appointments through Calendly or whatever before.
I do.
And I have not done that. I've always just had the open house. That's just been my experience. So, and I've had decent success with that.
The reason why I use Calendly is because number one, I want to capture the interested agent's contact information. I want to know who's interested. It tells me what's going on. What do I expect? If I don't have any schedulings, and my message is very clear in the MLS, by appointment only showings, here's the link. That's it. Oh, I need to get in Thursday. If that's available, schedule it. It's not. So I want to capture the agents. I want to capture their information and be able to, I can kind of see how that's going to go. If I don't have a lot of appointments, then we've got a problem, because it's just, you can tell if a property is not popular.
Yeah. It's a precursor.
On your Calendly, how long do you leave the gap for their appointment?
I do 15-minute increments.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat so you guys can check it out.
Robert, let me finish my part.
Yeah, do it, please.
Because this is very, very important, because I fell on my face, no, seriously,
I love it. This is great.
We've done that.
Not getting coached by you. I fell on my face. Ron Queensberry on this call, he's seen what I did in Sacramento. It wasn't a great turnout. I mean, it was a decent turnout, but I missed a lot of key points. Going through you for the coaching part is crucial. Don't try to do this thing on your own. The first couple of deals, don't try to do it on your own, because you're gonna miss a lot of things. Yeah, you're gonna learn some stuff, but you're gonna miss a lot of important pieces. And Robert, thank you for helping me out on a lot of the stuff that I just fell on my face on the first time we're doing this new portion of it. But you're gonna miss a lot of important pieces. That this doesn't work everywhere. This doesn't work on every property. Mm-hmm. You gotta make sure you have the guidance for Robert on, does this work on this property? If it doesn't, great. Be able to flip into a different type of listing.
Yep. Well, I appreciate
that's very important. And so I want to make sure that's very clear. Like, you're making it sound like it's easy. This is not easy unless you have the right guidance on it. So just be honest.
Well, you know what? I appreciate the kind words, Lawrence. It means a lot. And yes, man, I got to be honest with you. I've taken some arrows because most agents, they don't understand how this process works. They're like, what's this online stuff? Because they just don't know what it is. But if they really got a chance to think about it, they can really see the value. They can really see like, wow, wait a second, this is kind of kick ass. Even if they're buyer only agents and they're like, well, my buyers get to transparently compete. I can't tell you how many homes we got outbid on because we didn't know where we needed to be.
Right.
Had I known, kind of stuff. And so we're leaving it for transparency. It's great for attorneys. They love the transparency because especially in a divorce situation, you got the offers. Nobody's hiding anything. It's fantastic. But yeah, I've been turned into the DRE to the Department of Real Estate multiple times because agents didn't know what this crazy thing was. Are you allowed to do this? Is this legal? It's just a great way to get the highest and best price in the shortest amount of time. And it's obviously approved with our company. It depends on whatever company you're with, but our company, we're a publicly traded company. They're fully vetting everything we do.
Right.
And it's a long process. We've learned where all the potholes are. And do I know everything? Oh, no, I'm learning stuff every day. I've got 3 new going live that I'm going to be finishing up here as soon as I'm done with this call. And it's just a never ending learning curve. You just got to make sure that we're sharing ideas that are working. What is working, but also what is not? What did I do? What did I learn from? And come share it with the group, because that's the only way we're going to be able to build this thing to new heights. So Kathy, what else do you want to add to that?
Well, I think the most pushback that I got was from agents, and it was, agents who've been in the business a long time like me that don't want to change. They don't, they buck the system. And I remember when, because I started in real estate when we had the book.
But MLS book.
Online MLS. Oh,
Yeah.
the online MLS is going to kill us. We're going to be irrelevant, blah, blah, blah. And then Zillow came along. We're going to be irrelevant again. They're going to take all our business, blah, 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 blah. Agents will fight the system. They don't like change and all of that. And there's a very few. The listing that I had, the 884 people through the open house, I got turned into the MLS 3 times in violation. So, yeah, it's going to happen. You're just going to have to overcome it. I think, and that was in 2021. So here we are 5 years later. I think agents are starting to come around that this is an option. And I don't know about you, but are you and Lawrence, you're getting as much pushback as you used to?
I'm getting a ton of pushback, but I'm gonna, Kathy, and sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
I apologize. Go ahead and finish, Kathy. I apologize on that.
No, go ahead, Lawrence.
No, just really quick. I'm getting a ton of pushback, but this thing I'm talking, like Julian, the thing I'm talking about right now, what Robert just skipped over and made it so seamless. Agents don't understand this. And when they actually understand the mindset of, hey, it's 2% or 3%, whatever. I'm not talking commission. I'm talking about cookies. 2% cookies on top of the actual offer price. That's the purchase price. Then they like, oh, that's my commission, or my cookies, right? Then they understand it. Robert just skipped over something that was very important that it's hard to, you got to be able to explain that to a buyer's agent.
Yep.
They're not used to this stuff.
And Lawrence,
that's why I'm saying it's important.
And Lawrence, let me just coattail on that real quick.
Yeah.
You mentioned about compensation. The buyers or whoever's placing an offer, the buyer or the buyer agent, they get to choose whatever they want. Because remember, this is a net offer. If you want to take 1 cookie, 2 cookie, 3 cookie, whatever, don't matter. Take all the cookies you want. It's all net to the seller, and that's the way it should be. And one thing you talked about with agents, I was taught this a long time ago, one of my mentors, RDR. Does anyone know what that means?
Realtors don't read.
Amen, brother. They do not read. So you need to be very clear, very concise, and really explain the features and benefits to their buyer. Or if you're talking to a buyer, explain it, the features and benefits to them, because it's a features and benefits riddled program. It's fantastic for everybody involved. Sellers love it because they get the highest price through competition. Buyers love it because they know they didn't overpay. And trust me, buyer's remorse is a very serious illness in real estate. And if they know what they had to, they only paid what they had to, it's a benefit big time. It's simple to use. And the buyer agents that come to the open houses, they may come in, oh, what's this stuff? And then you explain it to them. They're like, oh, this is awesome. I love this. I want to use this in my business. Hey, that's a great idea. Why don't we meet and I can explain exactly how it works? It's great for agent attraction if you're looking to grow your team. Because I tell you this, I don't hold open houses. I'll take listings, but my buyer agents hold the open houses. I like to go and be in the background for anything that, especially if it's new agents that are working with me. But it's a great way to get your buyer team in the corral and ready to go and keep them busy. My agents are going to be out of their mind for the next 3 weeks. And we've got listings that are going to drive Kathy Ryan type traffic, God willing, maybe not 884, but you get my point. So I think,
200.
yeah. If you get 200-300 people through the doors, I'm telling you, that's the highest open house by 10 times at least. So I like the Calendly because it tells me who's interested, and I get to follow up with these agents and make sure see if they have any questions, make sure that if they want to know how this can work in their business. Would you like to hold an open house and see for yourself? Because trust me, when they're at the open house, they're waiting in line with their buyer. They're looking around going, man, look at all these buyer opportunities. That's what a good agent will do. I have agents ask me all the time, can I hold your open houses? Absolutely. There's a training process. You need to understand it, but it's a great agent attraction tool. And I tell you what, if you do it properly, I mean, like Lawrence talked about, sure, I skimmed over it. I can tell you this, that there is a process. There's a process on who to call, lowest hanging fruit, FSBO expired, pre-foreclosure. I've mentioned a million times.
Automation text.
What to say.
Mm-hmm.
Your words matter. You don't come in hot with a listing conversation with a FSBO because they don't want a list. They want an offer. So your scripts that you're using matter. Shorten to the point. Remember, prospecting is to schedule the appointment, then prepare for the appointment. Have a presentation that walks them through what it is you can do to help them get what they want. Understanding cash offers, understanding the 14-day process and all the moving parts, and why we do what we do. Why do we price why is the pricing strategy substantially lower than the actual market value? Because we want to drive massive traffic to the websites first, massive Kathy Ryan type traffic to the open houses, and then let them bump into each other in the kitchen, and then let them transparently compete, because buyers are inherently competitive. So there's a process. I have an open house protocol, what to do on Monday, what to do on Tuesday, door knocking, video, inviting the neighbors to a VIP open house, neighborhood permitting. Obviously if it's 30 miles off a dirt road, that might be a little tough. My point is there's a process, and that's what we teach through Partner Plus that Lawrence was talking about earlier. I coach, train, and mentor agents all over the country. I have an agent in Texas that took 7 listing presentations, set 7 seller appointments right away. Sure, were there a couple that were batshit crazy? You bet there were. But it's a 3 to 5 minute conversation to weed that out. Because you're on Zoom, you go, well, you know what? Have a nice day. Click, done. You always want to show them the presentation, because a lot of times people's attitude, they're coming in hot. What do you want? Why do you call me? Why am I meeting with you? And once you lower their anxiety down, have a gentle conversation about their home, then get right into how I can help you achieve your goals. It's a simple process, but you got to understand it is a process. This is a really great race car, but you need to know how to drive it, because if you're not driving it properly, Lawrence, right? If you're not driving it properly, you could screw it up.
Robert, do me a favor. I put it in the chat right now. The last link I just put in. If you can show that, let's show an example.
Do you want me to put it on share screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can just click that link, the last link I put in there.
Yeah.
That property right now, same zip code. I just put it in the same zip code, right? Almost a similar type property, right?
Good agent. Go ahead.
Okay. No, the other one. Bring the other one up. The other
We'll
link.
show this one first because you're trying to compare it, right?
Yeah, this is my listing. I want to show my listing
Right. And how
Why
many
don't
saves
I
you
do
have.
this, Lawrence? Lawrence, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get you.
So wait. Look. Wait. What'd you do?
I'm going to
Go
let
back.
Lawrence share a screen.
All right.
Well,
Let me,
I want him to show your listing first and show how many saves you have versus the one that is not your listing.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
That's-
So I
Yeah.
literally,
Share your screen, Lawrence.
Julian, this will help you to understand kind of the idea of this thing. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second.
While you're pulling it up, Robert, I went and I just getting started trying to use the iList offer portal thing in the 14-day listing presentation deal. So I had my first I created in Gamma a presentation. I'm not happy with it. I don't know if you're able to share yours, kind of see what maybe yours looks like.
Absolutely, I can share mine.
But I did a listing appointment via Zoom for this. But yeah, I want to see the difference right here.
Did you get the listing?
I'm still following up with him. He is talking to Redfin. He's moving to Texas. They're trying to give him like 30 grand in bonuses or benefits to work with them on the sell and buy. So
Wow, that money's got to come from somewhere.
that's
Hey,
what
go ahead, buddy. Tell us what you got here.
All right. So just really quick. So this property right here is my listing. So this was listed for 6 days, 1794 views, 127 saves, which that's my birthday, by the way, January 2027. I didn't even look at that until just now.
Happy
But
birthday.
127 saves. The listing that's in the same zip code, almost same property, one car garage, 2-bedroom, 2 baths. Mine is a 3-bedroom, 2 bath, but they have a larger square footage, right?
Sure.
990 is what they're listed for. Coming soon. Let's see.
14 days coming.
14 days, 525 views, 20 saves. It's a big difference.
You win.
It's a change from what's the average do to what we do.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to have a better turnout than this guy that's not too far from my property.
And explaining to the seller, why you're pricing it 15% below market. It's a marketing tool to drive eyeballs and to drive people into your open house.
More eyes equals more offer.
That's not your goal price. The whole idea is to build up momentum, Mr. Seller, to get your price. Creating a competitive bidding war on your property.
Trust me, the hardest part is convincing the seller to price it strategically lower than market value. As long as you explain it properly, it's the easiest thing you've ever done. But if you don't know how to explain it, they're certainly not going to understand it. And they're just going to say, no, I'm not. What if I get an offer at that? Oh my God, I can't. They need to understand that the seller has the right to accept, counter, or reject any offer. That is the start price, not the end price. Our goal is to, like Kathy said, drive eyes to the websites, number 1, bodies to the open house, number 2, and multiple offers is the ultimate goal. But the way we do that is you have to get as many eyes on that home as possible. Here's I have just a couple of listings that I took just recently, 14 days, 8,981 views, 789 saves on one. Then another one, that's a 755 listing. And then a 1.3 to show more luxury versus the starter home. For 13 days, 6,323 views, 476 saves. I can show you, and I can lead right into this and kind of show you my presentation. I'm going to thumb through it real quick.
Hey, real quick, guys, screenshot those. Go look, Robert.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Kathy.
Or just watch the replay on YouTube.
Comparison. Yeah. Just go to those listings and screenshot them so you can put them in your presentation like that.
And I track and measure literally 1 hour on the market. What's the interest? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And I screenshot during the process competing listings. So I can show this guy, like what you're saying, Lawrence, this guy had this many views and saves. Because remember, sellers they're glued to their Zillow profile for their house, just like Facebook. How many likes, how many shares, how many comments, how popular is my home? And if they see 8,900 views in my sample I'm using, and they have like 200 in the same amount of time, well, let's talk about how we can get you more views first, because it starts with views, then traffic, then offers. So I don't know if you guys can see that. I know it's really hard to probably see, but this is 14 days on the 755 3-bedroom 2-bath, 14 days, 8,981 views. That is huge. This property sold for, this was actually one of my asset manager's personal homes. Talk about hitting it out of the park. We got her probably 75 grand more than she ever thought she would get. So you got to impress these people with results, because at the end of the day, you can talk a good game, but you got to show them. Talk is cheap. But you got to do the process. I've had agents that I introduced this platform to, the 14-day home offers process, and they said, "Oh yeah, thanks. I'm going to go and recreate everything." Okay, good. Let's see how that works out. And they flail, because they're like, "Oh my God, what this right here? I didn't do this." And they put it as an auction in the MLS. Don't do that. There's a lot of moving parts. And sorry if I make it seem so easy, because it kind of is once you get it done. Just like tying your shoes. It's really hard until you know how to do it. Once you do it and learn how to do it, it's like the easiest thing you've ever done. It drives traffic to the property. What's going to drive traffic? If you're overpriced, you're getting less traffic. If you're strategically priced under market, you're going to get a lot of traffic. It's just a simple math question. So anyway, that Lawrence, thanks for sharing that. Your review, or your views, your saves. Guys, remember, saves, views are one thing. That's great. Views, cool. They can't take that to the bank. But the saves are an indication of how much open house traffic you should have, because Zillow is a CRM in its own right. You go in, you save that property. A second you meet with that seller, you're preparing to meet with the seller, you save the property. Then you're notified on any changes, any open houses, price reduction, anything. But buyers that save it are also reminded on any changes, like when the open houses are, "Hey, don't forget the open house this weekend." How many times have you liked a property and they bombard you with, "Don't forget the open house this weekend. Oh, they just added another listing," whatever. It's a CRM that reminds buyers to come to your home. So the saves really are a great indicator on what kind of traffic you're going to have. Typically, I've had, well, let's see, this one I had 789 views. I had 400 people through the doors. So it's just a little over 50%. I've had some with equal amount of traffic with less people coming, but still great. So you got to track and measure those numbers as well, so you can see what's working. But it all starts with your pricing strategy up front. And one thing I want to add to that, Kathy, is, and you can probably agree with this, when you're doing this process, run the cash offers before you list the home. Because if you list it below market, it's going to automatically, there's no real algorithms out there they're using. They're just going off, well, what's it listed at? Let's go underneath that.
That is so true.
I've had listings, Kathy.
Yeah. Even if you put it in the MLS, and you put it in lower, the cash offers are going to pick that up. So
run the cash offers before you go live in the MLS. That's just a little tidbit.
I'm hoping you're running cash offers prior to taking the listing anyway.
Absolutely. You run those before your presentation. Your Zoom presentation includes running cash offers. But here's the thing. When you're in your presentation mode, when you're talking to your seller, the first thing you do, I show very few cash offers. I run them in case they want to see them, but I ask them, what's your sales price? I see that you're asking $755 for your home. How'd you come up with those numbers? And I just listen. So I know for a fact they're selling me on, they want $755. If the cash offers are $650, I'm not going to waste my time and set a discouraging message to those sellers. I already know they want the highest and best price. Guess what I'm doing? Boom. I pivot from their Zillow profile right to my presentation. Well, that's great news that you want to sell it for $755. One of two things is going to happen. One, I'm going to say 755, it's worth 600. Let's talk about that first. Or 755, spot on. Let's get started. And I show them how we can get to 755 and give them the opportunity to get much more. That's the transition, but it's a process. And if you have any questions, I'll put my calendar link in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing this, but I'll put my calendar event, in the chat here. Let me see if I can send it right here. Here's my, you know what I'll do is I'm going to put it back up real quick, Kathy. I'm going to show my, share my screen real quick one more time. If you guys want to schedule a time, do it. I encourage you, check it out. I'll pull up that QR code and schedule a time. It goes right to my calendar. I will absolutely, if you want to know more how to work the 14-day process, I encourage you to reach out. I have a couple of meetings today, and I think a couple of them are on this call. I want to help you to grow your business. I don't care what company you're with. Just so we're clear, I'm all things real estate. I'm with EXP. For full disclosure, this is not a recruiting call. This is a let's grow together call. Would I love to have you on my team? Absolutely. But that's not what this is about. This is about collaborating, finding out what's working, what's not working, and growing this together. Right, Norm? Norm knows what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Hey, Norm, can I ask you a favor while I have you on? I don't mean to interrupt.
Sure.
Can you tell the group what you're working on in terms of your program that starts, I believe, Monday?
Well, actually, Monday next week got locked all up and everything. But for you guys and for everybody coming, I always think that the best time to really get involved in creating goals is at the end of the year, getting ready to start into the next season.
Sure.
So my next program is going to be a 12-week year setup, so that we can figure out how to get you from where you are in 26 to where you want to be in 27. And we're going to take 12 weeks to formulate the best possible goals, the best possible actions, tactics, and metrics in order to get you there so that you know exactly what you need to do every single day of the 12 weeks. And then you're going to come out screaming in 27.
Well, you know what, Norm, I tell you what, if you can just put whatever information that you're sending to agents, if you want information on what Norm's doing, Kathy is very, very in tune with cash offers. Guys, remember, cash offers are only leverage. Have you, who on this call has actually closed a cash offer? If it made sense, if it was the best offer available for a client, not very many of us, but cash offers are a leverage tool. If you don't have the cash offers tool, you can't leverage the cash offers because everybody wants a cash offer until they see them. So Kathy, we've got just a few more minutes. You're going to share your screen. Go ahead.
So next week, guys, on Wednesday, More Deals Mastermind, we have very special guest, Larry M.F. White. If you don't know who he is amazing. He's a former Tom Ferry coach. This guy, he brings it, and it's going to be what's up in today's real estate market, how agents can pivot and win. We know that we are in a changing market. So how do we adapt?
Yep.
Larry's the one, and a lot of us can attest to that. Larry's the one to share those ways to pivot and on our next call. So don't miss it. Wednesday, moredealsmastermind.com. Wednesday.
I'll put the registration link, Kathy, in the chat.
I already did.
Oh, okay. I'll put it in there again. Okay, there you go. That's perfect. Either way is fine. But one thing I want to talk about Larry is we know each other for many years through the default market. Larry used to run Mr. Cooper, Zome. Talk about somebody that's been on the inside and knows the ins and out of this business. He's definitely a wealth of knowledge. He's in our organization. He's a wonderful human being. And yes, MF stands for exactly what you think it does. The guy, that's his alter ego, and the guy brings it. So this is our More Deals Mastermind. This is the podcast series we do every Wednesday. Each week we have a different guest. Norm's coming on here in a couple of weeks to talk about what he's got going on. Lawrence King talks about the circle of influence. He's very, very, your mama's realtor, right? No, Lawrence, did I say that right? Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing is every single Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, by going to moredealsmastermind.com. But register for the class so we know you're going to be there so we can expect you. Share this with your agents. This is not a recruiting event. This is a let's grow together event, just so we're clear. So you're free to share it with any agent. We respect relationships. We want this to be a learning, growing, building experience. And we have some really great, Kathy, we've got a great lineup
Yeah.
for August. August is going to be on fire. We have Woo Kim coming on, social media, online presence. We've got Joe from iList telling you everything, all the tools they've got. We're going to reach out to Smarty and get him on. Again, he was on about a month or so ago, brings it. So
we're working on getting a probate specialist. So,
we've got some great stuff. So let's do this. Let's go around the horn, Kathy, so you and I can wrap this up. Anybody on the call have any questions, concerns, comments? Let's make this the most powerful close we've ever seen. And not all at once, though, because that's it gets a bit crazy.
Thank you for this time. I appreciate it. Robert, like I said, you and Kathy giving advice on cash offers, 14-day home offers, like bar none, best for coaching right here.
Well, thank you, Lauren. So I put the link inside the chat. If you want to get the cash offers platform, check it out. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Free, and you get 50 leads. So that's a good thing. If you want the online offers platform, that is a premium upgrade. And it comes with coaching, training, mentoring, but it's something that it's changed my business forever. I dealt with auctions back in the day during the foreclosure market of Hudson and Marshall, auction.com. So I'm very versed on how the bidding process works. Once I was introduced to it, how it relates to the residential space, I was blown away. It's changed my game. So I encourage you to check it out. Kathy, let's do some closing remarks and wrap this call up.
Guys, we thank you for being here, with your questions and all that. We're here for you to help you grow your business. So go out there and do it.
Amen. Hey, you know what I always like to say, Lawrence? We'll see you in escrow.